in my Tommy Bahama chair and my polo shirt or my button-down shirt, and boy, we got a really, really painful running attack back and forth between the Dolphins and the Bills.
Yeah, that was an 11-10 classic. We almost had scoregami on that one, or we might have actually. And then it was like a game from 1926 that wasn't actually the NFL. It was our only similar game. But yeah, Kalen Ballage not exactly known for his rushing success in these simulations. In that game against Buffalo, he did break off a 50-yard touchdown, which is
that's right.
So out of character for what we've seen. But generally speaking, this is someone who's finished with negative rushing yards. More often than not, he's finished with fewer than 15 rushing yards. So 2 carries for -2 is not exactly out of the ordinary for Kalen Ballage.
It's just a damn cough man in the YouTube chat. I've got BC in the showdown, not the classics. That's still better than a lot of other people, 4.9%. 3rd and 12 here for Fitzpatrick. Can he work the Fitz magic here from the 25? Staring, reaching, connecting, and that is a grab for Patrick Laird. But only 2 yards gained, 4th and 10.
Yeah, I don't want to make any wide, sweeping, grandiose statements after 4 minutes of a simulation, but this might be a little one-sided right now. Dolphins not doing a lot on that first drive. Although anyone who rostered Patrick Laird, and I know there's usually about like 20-30% of people who maybe use Patrick Laird as a complete bargain basement value play. I mean, this is someone who the minimum, $1,000 to put in your lineups, usually doesn't score more than 6 or 7 draft points, but you take what you can get at the minimum. But this might not have been a slate where you felt the need to have to save to that extent. Although a lot of people out there captain in Dalvin Cook, so that was an expensive option at the position.
Michael from Ops tonight, thank you to him, and thank you to you guys for coming for Madden After Dark. Yeah, your last game, the 8 o'clock game, was pretty one-sided, right? You ended up winning that one?
Los Angeles, yeah. The Texans, who I want to say, even though they're 5-12 now after that loss, have always had one of the more consistent offenses. Their defense has been an issue, but Deshaun Watson's usually good for a couple touchdowns, but that was easily the worst game I've seen Watson have. And we're now talking about like a 17-game sample, so that's saying something.
Wow. Poor Texans, 5-12. Tough times to be a Texans fan. In Simland, of course. 2nd and 10. 3.5 to go in the opening quarter. Cousins, all the time. Thielen with the catch. Pushed out of bounds.
So still haven't really seen Dalvin Cook establish himself in this game. He's had 2 carries, hasn't been able to do anything with either. And, you said this off the top, and I think it's worth repeating. It's very hard to say, hey, X happened in this team's stream last week, so that means X is going to happen in this stream. A lot of this stuff doesn't carry over as Diggs gets the first down there, but Ronald Jones dropped 145 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns against the Dolphins the last time we saw them. So you'd have to think a lot of people were thinking Dalvin Cook is a little bit better than Ronald Jones. He should have a similar performance, but haven't seen anything like that yet.
Oh, for sure. And that's why before we started the game, I wanted to ask about Stephon Diggs. I mean, look, like you said, the percentage still at just 27% the flex compared to Thielen, who's 74. Like, it's hard to not factor in recency bias. And we put together a little season here, right? We've played 16, 17 games. You're looking at sample size now. It's a pretty big one.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's not as much you can work with, obviously, in these simulations. Like, statistics for DFS have come so far in the past 10 years. You can almost get overwhelmed. Analysis paralysis, as they call it. But we don't have a ton to work with when it comes to these streams. So past results, recency bias, I think that's one of the biggest factors. And you hang on to those biases. Again, Dalvin Cook has a higher ownership in the captain's slot than Stephon Diggs does overall. That's pretty crazy. Oh, a fumble
But as Adam Thielen fumbles the football, the Dolphins have it in Vikings territory.
I'm always a little hesitant on these midfield fumbles. More often than not, I feel like they get reviewed, but it's close. I don't know. I think his knee was down. I don't know.
It's tight. Danny Torrance in the chat. Hooked on a feeling. It's a great fantasy, like your fantasy football team name. My buddy did that. It's a good one. All right, let's find out what the ruling is here.
I think they're going to overturn this one. Yeah, his knee's down. I don't know. I feel like 80% of the fumbles I've seen have eventually been overturned. We had one, Emerson and I were doing a game on Friday where the receiver his whole body was on the ground. Like, it looked like he was lying on a beach towel, and they called the fumble. I was like, yeah, no, that's not great. And there we go. Vikings ball.
Thielen in the slot on the right side. 2 minutes to go, opening quarter. Vikings have it, up 7-0. Run after catch for Treadwell. Using the screen effectively. 2nd and 2.
And Treadwell, who has had some games where he's popped. He's had a couple where he's broken a slate. He's had less than 5 DraftKings points in each of the Vikings' past 5 games. So he would be breaking out of a pretty dubious funk if he were to have a nice game today.
Caught in the flat by Thielen, trying to make moves, but the Dolphins knock him down.
7 for 7 to start for Kirk Cousins. So picking apart this Dolphins defense, and just, for the sake of comparison and for everyone to get an idea of how mismatched these two teams could be, the Dolphins are an overall 68 in this game, where the Vikings are an 84. So that's the disparity you don't normally see in this series.
Cousins fires. That's complete. First look at Kyle Rudolph in the red zone.
Rudolph's had a lot of catches the past 5 games, 22 to be exact. So definitely a featured part of this offensive attack. We've talked a lot about Thielen versus Stephon Diggs. Kyle Rudolph's kind of the constant. Not always going to find his way into the end zone, but usually is going to finish a simulation with 4 or 5 catches, which is not something you can overlook, although his $8,000 price tag is pretty hefty for a tight end.
8.5 points a sim, his catch rating in Madden 96. From the 18, 1st and 10, 3-step drop for Cousins, floated over the middle to Diggs, and he dives inside the 10. I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. Steph Diggs must have found a new coffee shop. He's done something in Simland to figure it out and start showing up in these games.
Yeah, we normally don't have these, flip switch moments. As we're going to get one more play, it looks like, in this first quarter. But, yeah, total different guy the last 7 simulations.
On the pitch, Cook to the outside. He's in easily. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Well, I mean, this isn't looking great for the Dolphins. I think you picked your allegiance as well in this one, Glash, as Dalvin Cook, not our defender, with 5 yards.
Skull!
We might be in the early stages of a blowout. I don't think I'm going too far on a limb when I say that.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say that in the pregame. I was holding out hope. That's why I gave you the opening. The opening question was, how do the Dolphins hang around? It's a really good Vikings roster.
Yeah. Well, I said they wouldn't score 10 points, so if that's the case, we've got a long road ahead of us. But at least the Vikings have been scoring. Again, sometimes we get these really weird Dolphin simulations where no one scores. They're sort of the AFC's answer to the Arizona Cardinals in these Madden sims. I don't know, for whatever reason, the Cardinals just never seem to have any points on either side. They've shut out the Raiders, they've shut out the Browns, despite the fact their defense isn't even really that good. And Kyler Murray never scores. So for anyone who's watched a bunch of Cardinals games and maybe hasn't, had the confidence to watch a Dolphin simulation, it's basically the same thing with different colors.
Tom Cruise in the chat. I had to mute you guys this afternoon. Just want to say, not the same experience in any way. Announcers are part of the experience and an absolute must. Well, Tom, we know you're one of our loyal guys, so thank you for that. I'm sure you had something very busy going on in which you could not have us on. But it's good to have you all here. You guys keep coming back. It's a holiday weekend, and we're keeping at it. Still, wow, first quarter just ended. That was a long quarter. Well, Vikings put up 2 touchdowns. Whole lot of nothing for those Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, we've got one team with 14 points and one team with literally 0 scrimmage yards to their name right now. So that's a pretty good encapsulation of what we're dealing with. The Vikings are just clearly the better team. And I think one thing we have to start looking for, I mean, we got almost a turnover in the first half. It was the Dolphins, surprisingly, of all teams. But you're going to look at this Vikings defense, and for as popular as they probably were on this slate, shutout's great. Shutout's 10 points. But are they going to get some sacks? Are they going to force a turnover? Are they going to make some plays that put them from good play to amazing? And there it is.
Wow.
Linval Joseph making quick work. And look, this Dolphins offensive line is terrible. I mean, we talk about the Texans, and we always have it with the asterisk of, yeah, but Laramie Tunsil's pretty good. They at least have that. There isn't a Dolphin offensive lineman who is an overall 70 player. That's what we're dealing with here. There's just not many redeeming qualities for this offense, and it's shown in Ryan Fitzpatrick's production. It's shown in Kalen Ballage's inability to run the ball. It's just not a great situation for Miami.
Just saw the graphic pop up under the scoreboard saying Vikings defense has allowed -2 and make it negative more yards. Kendricks. Now this is men against boys right now.
Yeah. Again though, I mean, I almost had to double check this morning when I was checking out some of these stats to make sure I was looking at the right box score when I saw the Vikings production in recent games from their defense. Again, 14 sacks, 10 turnovers. There are teams in Madden through 17 games who haven't forced 10 turnovers, let alone in 5 simulations. So they've been playing on another planet.
Fitzmagic stepping up on 3rd and 24. Grow more of your beard out. You have all the time. That's complete for the first, and then some. Wilson!
Wow. Did not see that coming. Not by any means. Although if you give any quarterback 10 seconds in the pocket, they're going to find someone eventually. And Albert Wilson in space is a scary proposition for a lot of teams. He is lightning fast. Not quite Jakeem Grant fast, but he is very, very quick and picks up 48 yards on that reception. And like I talked about in the pregame, aside from Gesicki, if there's one wide receiver that's kind of popped for the Dolphins as of late, Wilson had 10 catches in his last 2 games coming into this one.
91 speed for Wilson, 91 acceleration. In the gun, Fitzpatrick from the 38 of Minnesota. Keep growing that beard, kid. He's going to take off. He can get inside the 30. Looking to get to the red zone, and he gets blasted.
Yeah, you got to watch out. I mentioned this during the 8 p.m. stream, but it's worth repeating. The most dangerous defensive players are the ones working in space. Middle linebackers, free safeties who happen to have those X-factor traits. And Harrison Smith is one of the major reasons the Vikings force as many turnovers as they do. Almost in on that tackle. Seemed like Kendricks got him before Smith did, but I don't know if Fitzpatrick's going to want to test those waters too much.
From 21, Fitzpatrick does have 2 rushing touchdowns in our series. Nice move there. Ballage. Oh, close. That's an impressive run right there.
50. Didn't think Ballage had it in him. And this is Kalen Ballage territory. He is the power back. Or excuse me, actually, Patrick Laird is the power back for the Miami Dolphins. But in saying that, he and Ballage sort of split these goal line carries. So a lot of possibilities as the Dolphins line up here. Maybe even, we haven't said Devontae Parker's name yet.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, or at least a decent amount of people, hoping that maybe he gets involved by the goal line.
I don't think Gesicki has a catch yet either.
No.
All right. See what they do. 1st and goal from the 2.
Laird in there.
Patrick Laird. He won't go down now.
Kudos for escaping that first hit, though, from Harrison Smith. That's not easy to do. Fortunately, didn't have anywhere to go after that. So maybe we see the Dolphins come out here, try to spread it out a little more as opposed to that goal line look with the 3 tight ends we saw. And there we go. We got 4 wide receivers on this one.
3 to the right, 1 to the left. The pitch. Balas to his left. Ooh, and he's hit by Harrison Smith.
Seems like his momentum almost carried him in there, but Smith definitely finished that off with a nice hit. So 3rd and goal from the 1. I don't know. Feel like we maybe get a pass play here, but we'll see. The goal line set again.
Power eye. Play action. Fits.
Oh.
Bye-bye.
Already 2 sacks for Kendricks. I mean, look, if your offensive line can't block in normal passing situations, running play action probably not going to be the most successful thing in the world. So we got some ownership numbers for the Vikings. The 47%, which I actually think is a little low. I'm surprised we're not around 60-65%, but captained in 12% of lineups. So that makes a little bit more sense. Seems like people were still a lot more apt to go the Dalvin Cook route, but I don't know, 47 seems low. It does.
Kendricks, that play, he's an 89 overall. I mean, this Vikings D is loaded. Daniil Hunter, Everson Griffin, Harrison Smith. I mean, just loaded.
Well, right now, the Vikings have more sacks than Ryan Fitzpatrick has completed passes, so at the very least, the Dolphins are they're a great mine for these really weird statistics. They've got that going for them.
Well, in this game script, it makes perfect sense also why Kirk Cousins can just be hidden. You can just hide, you can hide Kirk Cousins' deficiencies. 13.3 points a sim, but he hasn't played that badly. It's just they don't need him to do much.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a perfect example of what you're talking about in that 8 p.m. stream where going into halftime, Phillip Rivers had like 220 yards passing. Unfortunately, the Texans never got back into the game, and when it was all said and done, he finished with 230 yards passing because he only actually had to complete 1 pass in the second half of a game they were up 3 scores. So if Minnesota can get on the board here and score another touchdown before the half, you're probably just going to see a lot of Dalvin Cook in the second half out of just pure game script points.
We have 1,400 watching on YouTube, many watching in the Game Center and also the DK Live app. Thank you for being with us. I see a comment here from It's Just a Damn Cough Man. It helps him. The only Dolphin he took was Sanders, the kicker.
I could see that being a popular strategy, especially if you captain the defense and you have to play a Dolphin. Playing Sanders wasn't a bad way to go. It's going to be a run for Thielen, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep. 3rd and 14 coming up.
Well, we saw the Dolphins convert a 3rd and 24, so I wouldn't ask the Vikings to get this one.
Yeah, I mean, look, you said it. You understand how, dare I say, poor the offensive line is for Miami. The fact they gave Fitz all that time on that, well, of course, in this case, it's Minnesota we're talking about now, but let's see if Kirk Cousins gets that time.
Wide open.
Treadwell.
10 for 10 for Kirk Cousins. This is impressive stuff. And you mentioned it. It's not always Cousins' fault. A lot of this is game script stuff, that he doesn't score 20 points all that consistently, that he only has one 300-yard game. But, I mean, I'd probably be hard-pressed to find a better half of football from Kirk Cousins. This is like perfect quarterback rating kind of stuff.
First and 10, 44-yard line. Minnesota approaching midfield. Dalvin Cook gets sandwiched.
I mean, the Dolphins don't have a very talented front seven. Raekwon McMillan's all right. Christian Wilkins, their first-round pick from last year, is decent. So you would expect Cook to have a little bit more success than he's had. But that being said, it's not like the Vikings have a great offensive line either. And that is something you do have to factor in.
On 2nd and 10, just got rid of it. Cooks, wow, nice move there. Squeaks right by the defender and gets to the 47 of Miami, 3rd and 1.
Yeah, for anyone who wonders what's the difference between speed and acceleration in Madden, that was acceleration. He got upfield fast and almost got the first down somehow on a screen pass that it seemed like the Dolphins read pretty well initially, but sets up a very manageable 3rd and 1. And at the rate we're going, even with all 6 timeouts still on the board, if they pick up this first down, you got to think that this half probably ends without the Dolphins touching the ball again.
On 3rd and 1, Cousins. Right side, complete, no, out of the hands. First incompletion.
Tough time for your first incomplete pass. It looked like Dalvin Cook was pretty much wide open. BC Johnson also looked like he might have been open in the flat, but wow, he just overthrew that pass.
Yeah, that wasn't even close. Clearly I was looking at a Vikings player standing on the sideline out of bounds, and I thought that was the target, which it was, just not an active player.
Well, I mean, surprising as it might be, and as, I don't know, unlikely as it is the Dolphins are going to have much offensive success, we're one good drive away from a 1-score game at the half. I don't think anyone would have expected that after that first quarter.
It's true. 3 timeouts for Fitz and company. Let's get Devontae Parker involved here, huh? Like, sheesh.
He's been pretty quiet lately. And you know, it's all about Fitz not putting up many yards.
That is complete. Almost at midfield. A beautiful ball, and there's Parker.
Well, if you're going to complete 3 passes and a half, make sure 2 of them are for at least 30 yards. Dolphins picking up big chunks somehow against this Vikings defense. Parker, huge catch right there.
Devontae Parker, the wide receiver, 1. Fitz on first down. Tip ball intercepted. Darian's hopes and dreams just crashed and burned again.
Well,
Brothers.
You get used to it.
Vikings D, man, 47% the flex, as we discussed, and you're feeling great about that play even more.
Whoa, what a pick. I didn't even really appreciate that one in real time. That's like an Odell Beckham interception. Jeez. Well, and the defense is feeling it. The defense is feeling it.
Okay, am I missing something in the chat, everybody? Someone's naming a puppy Lash?
That's incredible.
Oliver McDonald, as Cousins fires on first down, complete to Thielen. That's a good name idea. We can't decide on a good name for the little dog, so I could think naming it Glash.
I think it's a pretty good pup name. Nothing wrong with that.
I'm just trying to find out how that started. Choker said a puppy named Glash? Question mark. Huh. Interesting.
This might be, I mean, of all the tributes you have, this might be the best one. That's a pretty big honor to have someone named Puppy.
And then explaining it to everybody.
Yeah.
Well, you see.
Yeah. Long story, but who knows? Maybe the puppy gets an Instagram account, and maybe that Instagram account goes viral, and maybe all those people start watching Madden After Dark. And that's the world I want to live in.
I know, Gary, and I left Simland for 2 days, and I never felt so lost in my life. First and 10 for Cousins, 28-yard line. Thielen. Yeah, this is not good for the Dolphins.
No. We've had really almost every member of the Vikings receiving corps get in on the action. Thielen's got 5 catches. Diggs has 3 catches. We've got Rudolph with 2, I think. Treadwell with 2, and then BC Johnson with a touchdown. So you could have pretty much played any Viking skill position player, and maybe you're not thrilled with the results, but you're at least content. Everyone's done something in this game. Clock ticking, though, so maybe does Dalvin Cook get a look here, or are they going to stick to the air?
Already one rushing touchdown in this one for Cook. Cousins, a little hop in his step. Looking, and down he goes.
This is probably going to mean a field goal. I don't know. So 16 seconds left. Usually when a team is kicking a field goal, they call the timeout with 11 seconds. So maybe they stay aggressive here and try to take one more shot at the end zone. Although if we get another sack or a tackle inbound, we're going straight to the half. So I feel like they're going to go for it, though. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, put him away. Put him away. Thielen and Diggs lined up left side. Cousins, right side.
It's going to be short.
Short. BC Johnson, the catch.
Got out of bounds.
Got out of bounds, okay.
I don't know if they do it again. I would be surprised if they try this one more time. I'm hoping they do. I'd always like aggressive offense.
I would just try and put the nail in the coffin. There you go. Thielen solo right side. Some zone coverage here for the Dolphins. Cousins sliding. There's a flag. You can take off or you can throw it. That's complete. Irv Smith. Yeah.
Hold.
Well, holding though.
Yeah, you had a feeling. Well, it's still going to be up to...
or a feeling?
Yeah, both, honestly.
All right. Well, that puts him up 2 touchdowns.
And, for anyone out there who rostered Jakeem Grant, we got 1 second left. It means we're going to have a kickoff. Grant's got crazy speed. We've seen crazier stuff happen in the last second or 2 of a half. So maybe that's how the Dolphins stay close. Maybe they get a kickoff return for a touchdown.
96 speed for Grant. He has taken one to the house in our Sims. We shall see. Nicholas says, no, naming your son Glash is the ultimate tribute.
Yeah, sure. I don't know if I'd recommend that, but who knows how long we're going to be doing these streams. So we might get to that point.
Here we go.
Ooh. Oh, face mask.
Yeah. We got this. All right, so the Dolphins will get the ball first to begin the second half. Garian's Dolphins down 2 scores. It could be worse.
You don't have to keep associating me with the Dolphins. I would say, actually, if we want to get some separation between the two of us, it might be good for my rep.
All right.
Yeah, but the Dolphins getting the ball to start the second half, which means Vikings defense gets another opportunity to rack up some fantasy points, which is basically the way I see the Dolphins having the football at this point.
I found it kind of enjoyable, but I understand. Devontae Parker, 41% ownership in the flex. Now, that last pick, by Minnesota, that was a Parker target, and then boom, ball was knocked away.
I think we still have to take another moment and talk about how crazy that interception was by Brothers.
Great play.
That was the Odell catch. That was the Odell catch animation for a safety making an interception. That's pretty crazy. But, yeah, Fitz has 3 completed passes. One to Albert Wilson. We got 1 to Devontae Parker, and we have 1 to Patrick Laird. So not exactly a voluminous setting for the Dolphins skill position players. But at the very least, you would have to think down 2 scores. The AI is probably a little more inclined to pass for Miami. We see a little less Kalen Ballage, who got 4 carries in that first half.
Take the chai guy, baby. Good to see you in the chat. Yeah, Vikings D looking like a good play right now. Let's have a look at the old contest page. What are we doing here? Well, late slate. This is still a solo leader. KG Waste. Jakeem Grant's going to get another try.
He's so fast, he basically ran into the back of his blocker. I think that was Chandler Cox, the fullback for the Dolphins. He tripped on his heel.
Ludicrous speed. Let's see. Whoops, I used the wrong line. Here's Fitzmagic for the 27. Patrick Laird. Ooh, might have gotten pushed for the first.
Yeah, I think he did.
Second.
I mean, we've seen that play in particular when it comes to rushing offense. Running out of the shotgun has just consistently been more effective than running out of the I formation or your sort of base run formations. Time and time again. But you'd have to think Miami is going to go to the air a little bit in the second half, especially with oh no. Well, like I said, Harrison Smith, those defensive X-Factor players in space, they are the ones who can make things happen. Everson Griffin, definitely not a sprinter. That is a very weird running animation. But let's see if this is going to be... Oh, he might be down. Oh, man, this is going to be a huge tilt for a lot of people. Vikings defense is 41% owned in the 6-game classic. For some perspective on this, I think this is coming back, unfortunately.
Well, that was funny.
Oh, he's down.
That can't happen twice for the same team, but it probably... Oh, no, pardon me. The Vikings, Thielen fumbled.
Yeah, twice in the same game to have him called back.
Right.
It's 3rd and 1.
Well, they dodged a bullet there.
Dolphins should consider punting on 3rd down as to not have another turnover first.
Here he comes again!
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
Griffin!
I'm surprised he still had enough juice in his legs to get there. I mean, that man just sprinted 40 yards. Yeah, Julian Davenport, the left tackle for the Dolphins. There's just no skill whatsoever on this Dolphins offensive line. And we've already got 4 sacks for the Vikings. With the amount the Dolphins are going to have to throw the ball in the second half, to expect 7 or 8 sacks is honestly not out of the question.
Scores are updated, folks, through the first half. And by the way, looking at that leaderboard in the showdown, big tie, 68.44 points. Vikings defense in the captain's spot.
You know, sometimes the slates just speak to you. And this one was screaming, play Vikings defense. The Dolphins just don't have a lot of skill. It's just as simple as that sometimes.
And the one Dolphin that's rostered is Albert Wilson. The rest are Vikings. All because of one big connection.
Yeah, Wilson's only got, 5.8 DraftKings points? Not really that much.
Cousins all the time, slingshot, engaged in a great play by Thielen at the 40.
That's going to put him over 100 yards. He was at 5 for 57, I think. So if he didn't get there on that one, he's definitely close. But that's like a 45-yard pass. So I think we're good. That was a crazy throw from Kirk Cousins.
Third time in our Sims, Thielen has hit 100 yards, that bonus. He's in the zone, too. His X factor is lit, which is double me.
Another challenge. Wow. You know, there's always something about these Madden After Dark streams where you're like, we never see this ever. I would say 3 officials challenges in the first 2.5 quarters is definitely in that conversation of Madden After Dark. Weird voodoo.
That is clearly a catch. What's the issue here?
They clearly did not roster Adam Thielen and do not want him for this yardage bonus, but that catch is going to stand.
Where's Kirk Cousins at in total yards?
We're approaching 200. He might be at like 170 or so.
I'm seeing 227 in the contest page.
Oh, there we go. And that was through half, so maybe we're at like, 227. Okay.
Yeah, so he's getting close too to the bonus.
And like you said, he's only done it once, so
right,
pretty unprecedented for him.
He might just keep giving it right now to 33 to wrap this sucker up.
It is strange, though, for as effective as virtually every aspect of the Vikings roster has been. I mean, Dalvin Cook has that touchdown. He's also got a reception, so it's not like he's a bust by any means, but he has not been able to get anything going on the ground so far.
Oh, I know. I have 18 minutes till quiet hours. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
Cook, first down and more in the red zone.
We all know the unwritten rule of Madden commentating. As soon as you say anything about a player, he's immediately going to do the opposite of what you just said. As Cook picks up about 20 yards, easily his best run of this game. So if they take a 3-score lead here, I mean, there's a chance we don't even see a single pass attempt in the fourth quarter for the Vikings. It might just be all Dalvin Cook.
We're all going to come together in the chat, too. Everybody in the chat, this is what we're going to do. At 10:59, I'm going to do the Skol Vikings chant. I want all of you to do SKOL, exclamation point, all caps. We're all going to do the chant together. A virtual chant. It's not the wave. I know we've discussed the wave in sports. I'm not the biggest fan of the wave because when you pay for your ticket, you go and watch the game. But Skol is a chant specific to a team. We're all gonna bark out Skol together. Unless you're a Dolphins fan, like Darian or Miami Dolphins.
Saved face here, but I'm looking forward to it all the same.
Ooh.
Thought for a second Cook had a lane there at the end zone. It was a nice play by Raekwon McMillan.
I love when we react like that, like, ooh, like that look, and then you just remind yourself, oh yeah, it's just a video game. Like, he's not actually that hurt. Richard says, my roommate just said the blonde chick on the left is kind of cute. Oh, well, thank you. I'm blushing. 3rd and 5. Cousins to the end zone. That is caught. Don't even say it. Oh, it's Kyle Rudolph. Touchdown.
I thought it might be BC again. It looked for a second like it could be BC. But there's Kyle Rudolph. Kirk Cousins, what a game. I guess only the 2 touchdowns so far. And the fear would be, even though he's up around 250 passing yards right now. I know I keep referencing the 8 p.m. game, but we're seeing a similar game script in this one, so I think it's relevant to the conversation. But Phillip Rivers, up 3 scores in the fourth quarter, did not throw a pass. Los Angeles had 8 plays in that quarter, and all 8 were rushing plays. So for anyone out there who has dreams of Kirk Cousins hitting the yardage bonus, or maybe Stephon Diggs getting a little bit more involved in this game after 3 early catches, if the Dolphins don't score here to keep this one close, it's going to be a lot of Dalvin Cook.
It's only the 3rd touchdown for Rudolph in our Sims. 9.9 points last game. And by the way, you don't have to do the Skol chant if you don't want to. I guess it was more of a request. So we're all going to come together. We're in this together, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I've never heard I've heard it. It's been a while, I guess is what I meant to say. I have not heard the Vikings horn, the horn call.
Yeah.
That's something maybe I should look into and what that sounds like.
I was actually, when thinking about what element of this game you were going to bring to the broadcast, I was thinking you may have constructed a horn. Obviously better. But, yeah, I know people out there are looking for moose calls. We might have to get the Viking horn going, too.
But what noise is it's just a blowing into a horn, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Very, very Icelandic, I guess.
I'm not saying words. I think Kosicki just caught that ball. Yes, it was. You know what I mean? Like, what noise is through the horn? You know what? We'll look it up. I'll look it up.
There's time. This drive probably isn't going anywhere.
All right. Help me out on this next play.
Oh, there we go. We have Viking horn sound confirmation.
I mean, of course, to ask the chat to explain that in words, in print.
Put it into letters. It's a tough one.
All right, here we go. It's 3 seconds long. Wow. Fitz. Incomplete.
No, I think they gave him that catch, so it's a 1-yard loss for Albert Wilson. But we do have our first Dolphin receiver with multiple receptions in this game. It is a low bar to clear.
All right, so I looked up the sound. It's actually very simple. We have to figure out the trigger word, the trigger play, horse head sound, and we only have 13 minutes to do it.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Vikings score again in this game. So it could be as simple as that. Could be a turnover horn. That's a possibility. Sack horn, big play horn, something like that.
Okay. I would say it has to be by a Viking and not a Dolphin. But on a turnover, we'll do it. Because you know what? Why the heck not? It's a holiday weekend. It's almost 11. And you know what? So what? I got a complaint about noise. America.
It's true. Memorial Day weekend. How can you have a noise complaint on a Sunday of a long weekend?
Yeah. And then, whoops. 4th and 11. They're going to punt. That's smart. There you go.
Let's go, folks.
Yeah, good. Alexander Madison statistics. That's exactly what I was thinking about.
CS says, make the trigger word Jared Goff. I don't know if you heard.
I've seen the history of you and Jared Goff.
Yeah. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I'm not too fond of him in this world we call Simland. Come on, Kirk. That's complete.
Harvin. Okay, so 2:52. We've got the Vikings at the 42. So he's almost going to have to it's going to have to be a pass-heavy drive if he's going to get to the bonus on this particular series. So we'll see what happens, but I would expect the white flag to kick in the fourth quarter. So if you're looking for Cousins to pat on the stats, he's got to do something in this next 3 minutes.
All right, come on. I need a touchdown. We need the touchdown. Dalvin! He is a stallion inside the 45.
And suddenly at 58 rushing yards. I mean, just last drive, he had 7 carries for 18 yards. So he's picked up 40 on his last 4 carries. I don't even want to say there's an outside chance he hits the bonus. It's going to be a lot of cook for these last 10 minutes. So with that touchdown, he's got the 1 reception. You maybe want to see a little bit more involvement in the passing game if you captain him. But for the third of people in the showdown contest who did make that decision, things are starting to look pretty good.
From the 43. Big hole again. Shoved for a first. We get a flag.
Face mask? Yeah.
Dalvin Cook is going to score again. It's going to happen.
You're almost upset with this penalty if you're someone who stacked the Vikings, because it's 15 fewer yards that Dalvin Cook can pick up on this drive. It seems like this rushing attack from Minnesota is about to take this thing over. Well, they're spreading the field a little bit.
Yeah, he's in the gun. Diggs to the left. Thielen to the right. Cousins. End zone. Oh! Broken up.
Xavier Howard, the lone superstar player for the Miami Dolphins.
That's it. No X factors. It's on an island. Xavier Island.
Not quite Revis, a little bit smaller.
All right. There you go, Rudolph. I saw someone in the chat a moment ago was pumped about this little surge by Rudolph. Oh, just a damn cough, man. More Rudolph. I just cracked the top 100 in Showdown.
There we go. Well, it's going to be a fun sweat.
There you go. 3rd and 8. Cousins is going to chuck the rock again.
It's a feeling.
First down.
So this is setting up. It appears to be setting up quite well for Dalvin Cook owners. And actually, Thielen had not gotten over 100. So there you go. He's now up over that 100-yard bonus, 106, 7 receptions. So great game from Adam Thielen. And we might be time for a second Dalvin Cook touchdown, or who knows? Maybe we see Kyle Rudolph, tight end, often utilized in these situations.
Emridge Williams says, dude, throw it to Diggs. Kyle Cohen, stop with Rudolph. Touchdown means the horn.
Well, we've
Power
got
eye.
Smith on the field in this particular setting, so if we get a play action, anything's on the table.
Right side.
And was Irv Smith.
Irv Smith.
All right, 3-yard line. I think here's where Cook gets his opportunity.
8 minutes till quiet time. Can Dalvin Cook give us a skull horn roar? Short at the 2.
Charles Harris with a rare positive play. Former first-round pick of the Dolphins. Seems like we're rolling to half, or excuse me, into the third quarter. The end of the third quarter.
The bad boys have popped. Let's cook, baby. Anthony needs him too. Play action. Oh, no!
Charles Harris again. Sure. Charles Harris recently traded for a 7th-round draft pick, so you could say that the highlight of his career might be this simulation.
Good for him.
You know, we like to see positive things happen in these.
During these times, I'm in. Oh, what are they doing? Just give it to Dalvin.
So, we're going to get a field goal attempt. Is that going to be worth a skull? It seems kind of underwhelming.
No, well, we agreed to do we'll do the skull at 10:59, but the Vikings horn was going to be a touchdown. Well, we'll see. We could get it. You never know. Any given sim day. Great game for Cousins. I don't know if he's going to get the bonus. 264. He might not have to throw it again.
I don't think so. I think we're going to see a lot of running. We might get a couple of, if they get into a 3rd and long situation, maybe they'll try to pass the ball then. But even still, what started out as a pretty balanced attack from the Vikings receiving core. I mean, we had Diggs with 3 catches in the first quarter. Adam Thielen has absolutely taken over with his 7 receptions. I mean, Adam Thielen has more catches the entire Dolphins roster combined. If you want to know how one-sided this game is right now.
Wow. Darn. Gosh darn. And remember, the sweat's on for the 6-game classic, the late classic, and here comes the field goal attempt for Dan Bailey. Michael says he's getting the bonus. I'm assuming he's talking about Cousins.
It'd be fun. It just seems like with the game script right now, I don't know if they're going to have to force the issue. We'll see.
Roger Williams. Flash dude is so lame, bro. I am very lame, and I'm okay with that. I have construction paper on my head. You're not wrong.
But you embrace it, and that's really the key.
Yeah. C- on the hat, Kirk? Oh, come on.
That's a great hat. That's a great hat.
I never got a C- in school. I'm going to get a C-. You know, Kirk, at BJ_Glash, I want you to tweet me a photo of your Vikings hat and what yours would look like. But thanks for the comment. Thanks for being.
We might have to, on your Instagram or your Twitter, you might have to put out like step-by-step IKEA-style directions on how to make a Vikings hat for everyone at home.
Yeah, but clearly mine wasn't good enough. It was a C-. Well,
I mean, that's one man's opinion.
That's true. Fitz magic. 6 of 9.
Albert Wilson's 3rd catch, though. So for all those Viking stack lineups that were brought back with Albert Wilson, he's now up to about 9 DraftKings points, which I know seems not so great, but we're talking about a Dolphins offense that has 3 points. So you take what you can get.
Yeah, shout out to Sarah Privatera. The Priv, as I call her. Not all the time.
Oh,
as they call her. Not all the time.
He should have been. That was right in the defender's hands. Yeah, that should have been a pick.
Let's see.
Ugh.
Kirk says you get an A though for broadcasting sense. Oh, thanks, Kirk. All of the costumes are from home. They've all been made at home costumes. I'm not going out to the store. Clearly, those stores aren't open. 4th and 5. They're going for it. There's a chance.
Hey, Gesicki.
There you go. Some garbage points. Everyone, as we talked about in the pregame, Gary, everyone's got one Dolphin they need to come through for them.
It's really funny to think about, just how every single person knew better than to stack the Dolphins or even put 2 Dolphins in a lineup. Yeah, look, Gesicki, he's got a chance. It's a low bar to clear to be the high-scoring Dolphin in this game. Right now, it's Albert Wilson at 8.2 DraftKings points. So anyone is just a couple catches away from taking that crown.
All right, it's 10:58. Everyone in the chat's going to put Skol, S-K-O-L, exclamation point. That's it. That's all I want in the chat for that next minute until 11 o'clock. We're just gonna Skol till 11 to troll the Skol troll. We're gonna troll the whole complex. You can't shut me up till it's 11 o'clock Eastern.
You gotta pay the Skol toll. Everyone knows it.
Flash is the Skol troll and pay the toll. That's caught. 10:59. Here we go. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Skol! 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 Louder! Skol! 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 I want you louder in the chat! Skol! 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 Don't stop! Skol! 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 Shh. It's 11.
Oh, man. That's fun.
The chat is going insane. Oh.
I hope there's some way we can get that video out. Although, maybe I get to die knowing that I was the only person who got to see the video of Flash doing what he just did. Oh, can't even convert the 4th and 1. Yikes.
I'm still here. It's fine.
Okay, so we've got a lot of leash right now for Dalvin Cook. He's got 58 possible yards to get to that bonus. I think he's at like 68, 70-ish yards right now, so we could see this happen.
All right. Wow, my hands kind of hurt. A lot of clapping. Johnny LaRue. Sarah might not be amused. Sarah will be fine. It's good.
She made the hat. She knew what she was getting into.
Thank you, Garion. I didn't even have to tell you that, and you read my mind. Thank you. Peter says mute. Where's Kaufman? Cough's in bed. You're stuck with me and Garion. I think he's in bed. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, he's probably got radio tonight.
Yeah. Gotta be up early.
And is he going to be doing a Skol chant? No. So count your blessings.
It was only a minute. I want to read what our producer just said to us, but I'm kind of confused.
He's still taking the Texans loss pretty hard. Oh, here we go. Here's the bonus.
Oh, but a Dolphins pick.
Xavier Howard, one of the few redeeming Dolphins. Well, I think that was the Cousins chance. I think that was the one chance we're going to get to have Cousins hit the bonus. And that would have capped an amazing game for Adam Thielen if he was able to come down with that. Maybe we get a Vikings safety.
And then we can do the horn.
Definitely in the cards. In fact, I would say there's a greater chance than not that this drive ends in a Viking safety.
I gotta say, I'm really proud of all of you and your commitment to just typing Skol in the chat. That was a great exercise. We should do that every night for Madden After Dark. 10:59, we pick a chant, we just pick something, and we just go nuts for a minute.
The word of the day.
Yeah, word of the day. What's Glash's word of the day, or chant word of the day? At 10:59, we just rage. We just go nuts. Tony says, Glash going to be filing unemployment tomorrow. If I have a home with internet. Because, well, you know.
Get your priorities. Gotta figure that out first.
Gary, how's your weekend been? You hanging in there? You doing okay?
Yeah, it's been all right. Had a virtual birthday party on Saturday, so that was pretty fun.
Was it your birthday?
No, friend. But, yeah, I got to do the whole Zoom call thing. It was pretty good. It's nice, sunny couple days in Toronto, so go outside a little bit, keep my distance, be socially conscious, but, yeah, it's been nice.
CS says, Glash has never felt more powerful.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
The Skol chant was just building your power as we go into this fourth quarter.
Creature from the Glash Lagoon, though, makes a very good point. Can you abandon the Moose call like that? So I think with Jeff Ulrich, we have to stick to the Moose call. Moose integrity. Got to have Moose integrity.
Patrick Laird is starting to do some stuff. I don't know if it's enough for him to be all that big an impact on this slate, but he's got 2 catches on this drive. He had like a 10-yard run to get them outside the shadow of their own end zone. Someone on the Dolphins has to do something in the next 2 minutes, right? Like, someone's going to make a stamp and actually impress me a little bit. There's Laird again.
Not much doing after the catch. No yards.
So the way this is going, Ryan Fitzpatrick will now have only 4 touchdown passes in his last 7 games. I mean, it really begs the question, even when you get into a Dolphins game where they're not facing a Vikings defense that's as good as they are. But yeah, who do you trust on the Dolphins week to week? It's really tough to find some.
It's just a shame. Like, guys like Devontae Parker are legitimately good, and they just don't get to show it often.
Yeah. I mean, he's had some quiet games. You don't get a lot of Myles Gaskin with the catch. Okay. You don't get a lot of boomer bust wide receiver ones, but that's kind of what he's been. As the Dolphins use a timeout, at least they're trying here. At least they're showing some heart, thinking they might be able to score one more time.
Now, when we did the Skol chant, everybody, were you actually yelling in your homes, or are you just typing? Like, did you actually start barking it out like me? Because that would make it even more like.
Yeah, if so, what was the reaction of anyone in your immediate surrounding? Were they confused?
3rd and 6. Fitz.
Here we go.
End zone! Caught it!
Parker!
Touchdown! Is that Parker? Yes! Wow. You called it, man.
Got the one-on-one coverage against Xavier Rhodes, and that was a nice throw by Ryan Fitzpatrick, who had not done a lot to this. That was a behind-the-back catch. Whoa. I've seen some crazy catches in this game so far. The animations are insane. But yeah, Parker, 40.1 or 40.7% ownership. That's not that high, but there weren't a lot of popular Dolphin plays. They're going to go for 2 here.
Just a courageous play of the Dolphins.
That's a tough break for anyone who rostered Vikings defense. I mean, it's been a series of really hard knocks in the second half for Vikings defense owners. They have not gotten a lot of pressure on Fitz in this fourth quarter. Obviously, they had that defensive touchdown taken away by review. And now you've got the Dolphins up to 11 points, taking them out of that 1 to 6 points allowed mark that's worth 7 DraftKings points. So that touchdown changed a lot on this slate.
Nicholas answering the question about the Skull chant. I rolled the windows down and turned up the volume on my TV. Then my sister yelled at me to turn the TV down. Oh, that's great. I'm creating feuds.
Yeah.
Everyone and their families.
It's either the family or Glash. Pick one, pick forever.
As soon as you sent the command, says the creature from the Glash Lagoon, I wandered into the lagoon. The other creatures were silenced themselves quicker than usual. I began to bellow along. Skull, 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 I now feel.
I don't know. I feel like it might have been 3 or 4 weeks ago I brought up to you how you should start a cult. And now you're wearing funny headdresses and